Okay, so I made a video maybe a month or two ago about ABC on vinyl, I think, and I have been collecting their compact discs. I've always had a few, but I started buying the ones I didn't have and checking them out. So yeah, I think this band are fantastic, especially the debut, Lexicon of Love, and here it is. This is one of the Mercury label pressings from the 80s. I love those discs, the old PDO stuff. This is probably one of the best albums of the 80s and one of the best albums of the last 40 years. Trevor Horn produced this album. It's got some great tracks. Show Me, Poison Narrow, which was a hit. Many Happy Returns, Tears Are Not Enough, Valentine's Day, The Look of Love, Date Stamp, All of My Heart, fantastic, Forever Together, The Look of Love. It really is, you know, the band, nothing much inside here as well, it's pretty skimpy. The band are kind of, you know, at the peak of their powers here. The original lineup. Martin Fry on vocals, David Palmer drums, percussion, Stephen Singleton alto and tenor sax, and Mark White guitars and keyboards. Mark White was an important part of ABC because he stayed there for a lot longer than the rest of them did. You had Brad Lang bass, who was kind of instated by Trevor Horn on his recommendation because he was a great player, and the original bass player was Mark Lickley, or Likely. So yeah, he was kind of ousted, I guess. But Lexicon, if you've never heard it, you really have to hear it. If you like 80s pop, you will have heard it. If you like pop music in general, you just, you know, it's a classic, and yeah, you gotta have it. Next up is the Deluxe Edition. Now, this is the album remastered. I think this came out in 2004. I remember buying this and I just played it to death. It's got extras here, the 12-inch singles and the B-sides and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth getting. There's also Poison Narrow jazz mix. Yeah. Alphabet Soup, yeah, that's kind of a bit of a rap and stuff like that. It's the band blasting off. But all these were, I think, all 12 inches and stuff like that. The original singles, anyway. And then the second disc here has got the route to the Lexicon. There's the Tears Are Not Enough phonogram demo from July 1981, Show Me demo, and Surrender. And then we have the Lexicon of Love live at Hammersmith Odeon, November 1982. And that's the concert there. So yeah, this is really good. I like this. It's got a nice presentation as well. Very tasty indeed. And booklet. Yeah. A lot of sleeve notes in here, so you know you can just listen to the album and listen, read it and listen and learn. The lineup. Yeah. So yeah. Singles. Great band. You know, I mean, they did what they did, and they did what they said on the tin. Slick, sophisticated 80s pop. Next up is Beauty Stab. I also really like this one. This was from 1983, the year after the Lexicon. This was a bit of a shock to fans because it was a bit kind of more political and more honest album. It was less fairy tale in this. It's kind of about Britain in a way. This again is one of the Mercuries, and I really like this album. I could just play it every day for a whole week, maybe, or two. It's got a kind of a more guitar riff overtones on it instead. The original band at this stage is gone. This was meant to be produced by Trevor Horn, but he was producing Yes at the time. I think it was at 90125. Not a fantastic album, by the way, you have to have. But Gary Langan, his engineer, worked on this, so it's a great album. That was then, but this is now. Love is a Dangerous Language, fantastic. If I Ever Thought You Would Be Lonely, Power Persuasion, Beauty Stab. That's an instrumental, and By Default, By Design. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Roxy music there, you know, the kind of stuff from the early albums. When Ferry used croon over just a very minimal piano and sax background. Hey Citizen, King Money, fantastic. Bite the Hand, Unzip, SOS, I love that. It was released, I think, in early 84. It should have been a lot bigger than it was, and in United Kingdom. So this album is kind of relevant because a lot of the things he's saying are still relevant today, you know. This is possibly, or obviously, about Thatcher's Britain. That's the band. Now we have a three-piece. Mark White, he played piano on this as well, and some of the piano work is fantastic. You know, because the early album, I think, had Ann Dudley and some of the all-stars from SARM Studios, Trevor Horn's players. But yeah, Beauty Stab, I always listen to this, and in the Lexicon. The Lexicon is pretty. This is a bit kind of more black and white. It is a great album, one of my favorites of all time. This is the 1997 remaster. I think the original sounds a bit better. You know, it's just got this, and there's one extra track as well, Vertigo. And there's also another version of this, I think, from 2004 or something, or 5, and it's got a kind of a medley of most of the tracks on the album all mixed into one. So yeah, yeah, Beauty Stab is a stabbingly good album. Next up is How to Be a Zillionaire. This one, 1985. I think they kind of lost their way a bit. Mainly Mark White is writing with Martin Fry. Fear of the World, Be Near Me, Vanity Kills, Ocean Blue. Yeah, some of the songs are very mechanical, very kind of click-clack and stuff like that. It's very 80s, but some of the music on it, some of the songs aren't very engaging. The vinyl also had a different cover. I'll show you. This was the vinyl cover. This is the remastered edition. But I had to poke this out. There's actually 4 extra tracks on this. Fear of the World in CinemaScope, Be Near Me, Munich, Disco Mix, How to Be a Millionaire, Bond Street Mix, Vanity Kills, The Abigail's Party Mix. For this album, they drafted in 2 extras. There you go. There's a woman now in the band with a Dolly Parton style hair. And you also had what's his name? David. Oh my God, I can't even see it. Yaritu. Yeah, so there you go. And yeah, it's okay. Eden, that's the girl's name. Yeah, it's, you know, it's one I've, to be honest with you, you know, for their 3rd album, it's not great, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of boring and stuff. It loses me a bit, but you know, Be Near Me and Ocean Blue and Fear of the World are nice, you know. This is the Deluxe Edition. I think this is from 2005. This has got more extras on it, just, you know, extra 12-inch singles on it there. You can see them all. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's, you know, it's only okay. Some, you know, they became a kind of a caricature in this as well, you know. Yeah, not my favorite. I think they kind of lost their way on this one, and yeah, they did. Next up is Alphabet City. This was from 1987. we've only got Fry and White left here. This is an original, I think. Well, it's from back in the 80s anyway. Alphabet City. There's extras on this as well. You know, I think we get When Smokey Sings, the Miami Mix, The Night You Murdered Love, the whole story, Chicago, A Bridge. There's kind of a rap on it as well, yeah. I think worked on this. Tony Thompson from Chic. So there's a kind of a Chic sound to it, you know. It's got that tubular bells on songs and strings, and you know, yeah, it's pretty, it's not bad. Like, you know, I think it's better than millionaire, whatever you want to call it. I think it is, yeah, without a doubt. When Smokey Sings is a fantastic single. I really like that. It's a great one. Yeah. Some of the extra track, or track 11, Mixmaster Harding. Phil Harding, he was a remixer. Mastered by Ian Cooper at the Townhouse. Yeah. So there you go. I'm just trying to figure out here. I think it's Bernard Edwards produced this, actually, not Tony Thompson. Yeah, but it has a Chic vibe to it, you know. The Night You Murdered Love. Some of the stuff is a little bit, you know, uneventful on it. Yeah, some of the stuff is a bit uneventful on it, I think. It just kind of glides by over your head. And it's Bernard Edwards, yeah, not Tony Thompson. Yeah, he was the bass player in Chic, wasn't he? A great bass player, fantastic. And this is the remastered edition. It's got some extra tracks on it as well. King Without a Crown Monarchy Mix. Yeah, that's not on that one. You see, they brought them out and then they just have different things on them and stuff like that. But, yeah, there's a few things here. How they met Smokey Robinson. But yeah, I think it's not bad. Like I said, I listen to it once in a blue moon, but it kind of you know, I like The Night You Murdered Love, and I think When Smokey Sings is a fantastic track. It's, you know, harking back to the Motown days. Next up is Up. This one is from 1989. At this stage, it's only Fry and White, and they've kind of come back with house music. And yeah, this one is oh, I don't know, what's it called, One Better World. It sounds generic, you know. I think the music isn't very strong. I think the best track on the whole album is Paper Thin. Reminds me of something from Beauty Stab, and it's produced by different people, you know. They work with Blaze, I think, and Bob Crochar, yeah, and Julian Mendelssohn is in here as well, sound engineer, fantastic. But yeah, this one, you know, I kind of, when you put it on, it's almost like background music, you know. It's not great. I'll be totally honest. It's kind of one that I'd avoid, you know. It's just kind of doesn't, it's like ABC. Okay, they're into house music. They actually were into house, yeah, fine. But yeah, I don't know. There's a few extras on this as well. The Greatest Love of All, Crosher Mix, Never More Than Now, Crosher Mix as well. And there's also One Better World, Pickering. I can't even read that. It's all handwritten. Pickering Paul, or whatever the hell, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah. Next up is Absolutely ABC. This is the greatest hits. This is actually quite nice. I have it on vinyl as well, but I'll tell you one thing about this one is that I think this is from 1989 as well. It must have been just released before Christmas. Nice disc. Here you go. This one has got most of their singles on it. Poison Arrow, The Look of Love, All of My Heart, Tears Are Not Enough. That was then, but this is now. SOS, How to Be a Millionaire, Be Near Me. When Smokey Sings, The Night You Murdered Love, King Without a Crown, One Better World, Ocean Blue. And then you get the Look of Love remix. I think that's from 1990. It was reissued again. When Smokey Sings, the Miami mix. It's great as well. Be Near Me, Munich Disco mix, and then One Better World, Pickering Park mix. So that's already on some of the other albums. But yeah, it's nice. Inside you get photographs of the singles and for each thing, yeah. And it's one of these greatest hits as well that goes in chronological order, which is very prominent in the last 20 years. But once upon a time, greatest hits albums were, all the songs were kind of, you know, jumbled up, not in chronological order. This one is, except Ocean Blue is slipped in at the end, and it should really be from the 1985 era, the Zillionaire. So yeah, that's that. Definitely worth grabbing. You get it for peanuts if you want to get them in the uncompressed, beautiful sounding 80s compact disc. Now, next up, this is again Fry and White. This one is called Abracadabra. I've seen this for years. I only bought it up a couple of months back, maybe not even a month ago. And again, it continues where Up left off. It's kind of a house. It's of its time as well, you know. It's got those some songs are fast, and then the slow songs have got the, you know. This was the album that they put a lot of effort into it, and Mark White just at the end of the project said, "That's it. Okay, I've had enough. I can't do anymore." It has Love Conquers All, Spellbound, Say It, Welcome to the Real World. I don't mind it. The production is good, you know. It's deep. I listened to it a few times, and it's not bad. The videos of the time as well are just people dancing with their hands over their head, gold chains and torsos and stuff like that. It's just like I don't know. It's kind of boring old stuff, you know what I mean? Of its time, very, very much of its time. Yeah. So yeah. I can't say any more than that, but some people really like it. I'm not a massive fan of it. It's okay. I think it's a little bit bland, I'll be totally honest with you. Yeah. So that was it. That was 1991, and then there was a bit of a hiatus for a while, and then in 1997, Martin Fry released ABC Skyscraping. So Mark White's gone by this stage, and on this album, Glenn Gregory from Heaven 17 is the co-writer, and I only got this last week. It's actually quite surprising. I like it. The songs are quite good. There's a nod to Roxy Music, Bowie. It's a nod to the glam bands of the early 70s, and there's even a Sex Pistols tribute in there as well. It's actually quite surprising. Now, the only thing I don't like it is the production. It's drum machines throughout, and I always find drum machines sound, you know, they lack dynamics, and they sit in with a kind of a synth bass or whatever, and it fills out the sound. To me, it sounds like one of those Yamaha keyboards you get for Christmas. You program in the backing and bum bum, and you know, I've known time and time again when solo artists you know, want to make an album kind of out of their own pocket or whatever, they kind of do it maybe in their home studio or maybe in a friend's studio, and they keep the budget down by using drum machines and whatever. It's probably a quicker way to record as well, there's no doubt, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, I like it. There's a lot of saxophone on it as well. You know, it reminds me of Roxy. There's actually one song like Roxy Music called Light Years, and it's got the kind of rolls at the start. And, you know, you could imagine it's like almost what Brian Ferry would have done if he was 10 years ago, if he was trying to hark back to Roxy music. So I like that, and I think it's a great move from 1997, because everything else was getting a bit of electronic-y back then, and then you would rock and stuff like Oasis. But I know I like it. It's good. Yeah, there's some surprises in the music as well, you know. There's one as well. Where's the one? It's Love Its Own Reward. That's like the Sex Pistols. It's great, like, to hear that, you know, in the music. So yeah, that's it. Definitely worth trying. Sample it. You get this for next to nothing, a couple of euros. Next up is Traffic. This is another good album, actually. The songs are good on it. It's from 2008, and it's really only got Martin Fry with Chuck Kintis and David Palmer. I think that's the original David Palmer. Is a real drummer on this, at least. These are good songs. Yeah, it's definitely worth investigating. 60 or 16 Seconds to Choose. The Very First Time Ride is good. Caroline, that's another good ballad. Yeah, it's actually not bad at all, you know what I mean? It's worth checking out. Comes in a kind of a flimsy card sleeve like this. I only got this today, actually, and I listened to it, and yeah, it's accessible and it's not bad, you know what I mean? It's a good enough album. Yeah, so he kept the ABC flame burning. Next up is the Lexicon of Love 2. Now, this was released in 2016. I bought this when it came out, and it's not that memorable. It's got strings on it and stuff as well, you know. The production is quite big. It's got bass, drums. But now he's a kind of an older man looking back. Yeah, when you call an album part 2, like, for me, it's nothing is as brilliant as the Lexicon, except Beauty Stab, you know. But it's a good effort, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's not bad. I think he did a big it was a big concert in at the time, and I think this was played live in its entirety and stuff like that, plus all the other ABC hits. But yeah, it's not bad. There's some good songs on it, like, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's well done. But I think nothing compares to the original Lexicon. Okay, and finally, this is just ABC All of My Heart. It's a compilation that you will find in most record stores. It's a double, and it's got a nice amount of material on it, all remastered, of course, and 17 and 34, 33 tracks, and there's even a couple of B-sides and stuff like that as well, and 12-inch mixes. So yeah, it's, you know, it's not bad. They don't really cover anything, I don't think, from Abracadabra. I think it's just all the phonogram stuff, as far as I know. Yeah, it's all that stuff, yeah. So yeah, they don't really go into the later years. No, as far as I know, yeah. But it's good. There's some stuff on it. Hey Citizen is on it from Beauty Stab. SOS, of course. That was then. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. And also, yeah, Paper Thin is on it. Yeah, I like that song on Up. I think Paper Thin sounds like I said, it's like something off Beauty Stab. It just reminds me of that era. Yeah, so there you go. That's all there is to say, really. ABC on compact disc. Great band. Martin Fry is a great vocalist, and their music is certainly worth collecting and getting your teeth into. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care.